Jagrative. Spirituality is actually very, very simple. The truth is, you're whole and complete within yourself. You need nothing, you need no one. That's the truth. There's a saying, you are what you seek. That turns out to be so true that it blows you away. You used to look for love. You find out you are the love you were looking for. You used to look for peace, security, a sense of solidity. You find out you are secure, deeply. And there's a sense of complete depth of security, unwavering, unconditional, that could never be found anywhere else. You are what you seek. The problem is, very few people seek the seat of self. They're seeking the same thing. I want to feel love all the time. I want to feel joy, happiness, excitement, enthusiasm, meaning. I want to feel secure. I don't want to be afraid. I want to feel beauty and love all the time. Everyone's seeking the same thing. But very few people have any understanding that the reason they even know that state exists is because intuitively they know they've experienced that they are that. And you're not going to make up something you know nothing about. This is something you seek very, very deeply, a sense of total well-being, a sense of complete fulfillment. Yet you've never experienced it. You've experienced it for moments, and yet you're seeking it every moment of your life. That's because it's who you are, yet you've lost yourself. So when we seek it, the actual act of seeking it actually takes us away from it. So if I'm yearning for love, but instead I try to find a person to love, I'm telling you I'm lost. It's hard to talk that way. People don't want to hear it. I've already lost. If I feel insecure, and I don't feel whole, and I feel scared, and I seek finance, I seek props around me, nice cars, nice clothes, nice things that make it so when I present myself to somebody, I feel more secure, or person to stand with or behind, I'm going away from myself. And no one has ever found it outside of themselves. Ever. No one has ever. Relatively, you may be somewhat better off if you're totally scared and then all of a sudden you have somebody standing with you who you can lean on, you feel a little bit more secure. It's certainly better, but you don't feel whole. You're afraid the person will leave you. You're afraid you said something wrong. You're afraid you didn't look as good. You're afraid you're getting older and they might not like you as much. It still goes on inside, the insecurity that made you be in the relationship. People that have finance, go interview the billionaires and see what they spend their days doing. Because I'm going to tell you what it is, earning money. Not a single one of them out there that doesn't spend their days earning money. What does that tell you? That there's never enough. That it doesn't do it. And they feel bad when the market goes down, and instead of having 1.3 billion, they have 1.2. It was a bad day. There is no such thing as finding security, peace, love, and well-being outside of yourself. It's not that it's wrong to seek it that way. You should seek it that way in order to find out that it's not there. You should seek as hard as you can. I wish you, when you're young, this has happened to the young, you just go through it till you burn yourself up to find out how many relationships you had, how many intimate relationships you had, how many things have you had, and the question is, why was there more than one? Because it didn't work. Why were there more than two? Because it didn't work. Why were there more than three? Because it didn't work. It's like, I hope you chalked your numbers up. And obviously it didn't work, or there'd only be one. But you keep trying, and it doesn't work. And it always seems like it's going to work. It's not like it seemed like it wasn't going to work. It just doesn't, right? Because you can't achieve it that way. Why? Because you are it. And going outside of yourself for it takes you away from yourself. What you're trying to do is substitute outside yourself for what you're not experiencing inside yourself. And eventually you just get wise. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not wrong. It's not a sin. It just doesn't work, right? And so you wake up and realize, is there something that does work? And the answer is yes. Yes, there is something that does work. The truth of the matter is, the essence and nature of your own being is everything you're seeking. Everything. Not some, oh well, it's good enough and it's better than suffering. It's a complete sense of total love, total well-being, total security, no matter what's happening. Nothing can touch it. Nothing can take it away from you. Now go out and play. It's a totally different experience. You're not going out to try to get something. You've already achieved what you're looking for. You're going out to express your wholeness. You're going out to participate and share the love that you feel. A yogi, a being who's achieved a seat of depth, is not looking for love. Why would they look for love? They're filled with it. It doesn't mean they don't share it. It doesn't mean that their life is devoid of relationships or devoid of love. But they are not seeking love. They do not need anything to generate their love. If you need anything to generate your love, it will not last. It will betray you. It will not last. It is temporal. That is the nature of life. It comes and goes. It doesn't, you can't hold on to things, but yourself does not come and go. You are always there. So eventually you reach the point of realizing, that's what I want. That's what I want. I'm not renouncing anything else. It's just not what I want. What I want is a permanent state. Let's stay with love. How would you like a permanent state of love? What does that mean? It means you wake up in the morning, you can't get out of bed. Why? There's too much love. There's too much love. There's just waves of love pouring through your being. You've never felt that much love. Every morning, every afternoon, every evening, it's more. And it's more than you've ever experienced, and it's going on all the time, and it never stops. That's what I want you to have. Now go out and see what your life's like. It's a lot of fun. Okay? It doesn't matter what's happening out there, because what's happening in here is beautiful. What's happening in here is feeding you. The Bible says, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. Someday you will understand exactly what that means. You are not out there living off other people, places, things, finances, jobs, respect of other people. You're not living off that outside bread. You're living off this flow of Shakti, this flow of Chi that's pouring inside of you, feeding you all the time. All right? You're living off spirit. Everyone is capable of that. And you haven't lived until you're fine. Once you're fine, life changes completely. It just becomes a game. It becomes fun. It becomes, oh boy, I was born onto the planet Earth. I wonder what we'll do today. You don't care. It doesn't make any difference in any way, shape, or form. There are no goals. There's nothing to achieve. You've already are experiencing inside of you everything that everybody else is running around trying to get. Right? So you go out and have a good time. You go out and have fun. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't mean you don't do your best. People play sports. They do their best. Sports have no meaning. You play volleyball, it doesn't matter who wins. You're just out there playing. You play football, it really doesn't matter. You're all going to walk away and it means absolutely nothing. It's just a sport. But you do the best you can because it's fun. It's exciting. You just do the best you can. That's how life becomes. It's a sport. It's just a sport. It's something you do for the fun of it. But that's not how it is now. Now it's threatening. It's scary. It's anxious. It's tense. Why? This is why. Because I'm not okay and I want to be okay. And I've decided in my mind what needs to happen for me to be okay. I decided who needs to like me and who doesn't. I need what happens, what my finances are like, what every single thing is supposed to happen for me to be okay. Now I feel tremendous pressure and tremendous tension that it might not happen. And I got to go make that happen. And I'm scared that it won't happen. That's where tension comes from. That's where stress comes from. That's where a lack of enjoyment of the general process is you could lose. You get your whole life on the line here. You understand that? If you love him and he doesn't love you, and he's the love of your life, your soulmate, how do you know? You decided. Your mind told you. You obviously can't know, you don't have him yet. But your mind said, this is it, I know this is it, I feel it, I know this. And then he's not paying attention to you, you're distraught. Why? Because you're not going to get what you need to be happy. That's what creates the whole thing. The fact that we're not okay, and instead of going back to the place where we are okay, that's the whole key. Instead of finding the place inside that we are whole and complete, what we're doing is saying, I'm not okay, and the answer is outside. And we've defined the whole thing. And we don't just define what we need to be okay. We also know that things could happen to make us not okay, don't we? We're very aware of that. So we define that this needs to happen and this needs not to happen. Very simple. The minute you do that, you're dead. But no one will tell you that. Right? The minute you split the world into what you want and what you don't want, you are now at war with what? The world. All of it. The weather. Can the weather screw you up? Can the weather not be what you want? You want to go hiking? You want to do this? You want to do that? Remember, you don't want to go to work? It looks like it's raining, then it stops. I mean, it's amazing. The minute you divide the world into what you want and what you don't want, I'm telling you, you're dead. You don't see that. What you see is, I need to try harder. I need to try harder. I need to be more specific about, and they'll teach you this. Be more specific in defining what you want, and be more specific in defining what you don't want. And then make sure you're doing the optimal method for getting what you want and avoiding what you don't want. Come on, you've been slipping. Focus. Get good at it. Take courses in assertiveness training. Learn to demand what you want. Give me a break. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is very simple. It starts where I started. The truth of the matter is, I'm whole and complete within myself. If I'm not experiencing that, it's because I got lost. I need to find myself. I need to find the place in which I am whole and complete within myself. Then let me go out and deal with relationships, deal with finances, deal with jobs. Not, I'm not okay. Now let's use those things to try to be okay, because that ain't going to happen. So all you will end up doing is getting stressed and getting hurt and suffering. That's what Buddha taught you. All of life is suffering. It's pretty true, isn't it? Why? Buddha, why? You're so wise. You studied this. Why is all life suffering? The cause of suffering is setting aside what you like from what you dislike. That's what he said. That's the cause of suffering, is desire. It's defining what you like and defining what you don't like. The minute you do that, you're going to suffer. Why? It is not going to by itself be the way you want it to. Why would it? First of all, what you want, she doesn't. There isn't a single person in this room that had you make a list. The list would look the same of what you want to happen, what you don't want to happen. Therefore, how can it be that way? It can't. It's really neat when you look at it, isn't it? So what's going to happen is the world is going to go about its business, because that's what it does. It doesn't go about your business or your business or your business or your business. It goes about its business. What is its business? The sum of all the forces coalescing together in a given moment will cause reality to be what it is. It's physics, science. It's just cause and effect. It's a world of cause and effect. That's what's out there. Gravity, centrifugal force, personality traits, sociological interactions. Call it what you want. Just take all the forces, put them together through all of time, and they will create the next moment. Anybody question that? That's what's creating the next moment. What's it got to do with you? It didn't even ask you what you wanted. It doesn't ask a single thing. It's just going about its business. That's what it's doing. It's doing reality. Its business is reality. And reality is not based on you, ever. It is based on all the forces that ever were coalescing together to create the next moment. Are you one of those forces? Yes. You are one of the 700 billion zillion forces that get dropped in. If I take a bucket and you all drop your colors in and all the colors are different, it will determine the color of what's in that bucket. Did you determine it? I don't think so. Did you drop your drop in? Yes. That's all it is. You are one input in a given moment of a mass of all these inputs that are coming together. And that's just the reality of it. So you look at it and you say what Buddha saw. It always amazes me how deep Buddha's teachings are, if you look at them the way they're meant. The cause of suffering is that instead of letting the world be what it is, which is what it's going to be, you made up in your mind how you want it to be. This is what I want, and this is what I don't want. And now when you look out on the world, it doesn't look like it's going to be that way, does it? When I wake up in the morning, it doesn't look like it's going to be the way I want. And maybe what I don't want might happen. And my mind's not stupid. It sees these forces starting to unfold, and they don't look like they're going to be the way I want. So I get upset. I get scared. I get anxious. I worry. Anybody ever worry? You know what it means to worry? Anybody know anything about that? The mind does its thing. Right? What is worry? It's the bottom line of Buddhist teachings. Right? Worry is, in fact, I told you something, I like to be psychic. I'm be very psychic. I know what you're worrying about. I know what each and every one of you are worrying about. You're worrying that you might not get what you want, or you might get what you don't want. Was it right? How can I not be right? What else would you worry about? That's what you worry about, right or wrong. That you might not get what you want, and or that you might get what you don't want. There's nothing else to worry about, is there? Let's say you didn't care about anything in any way, shape, or form. You just don't even care about it. Do you worry about it? Not a chance, not a moment, ever. Let's say you care about it more than anything in the whole world. It's the most important thing to you. Do you worry about it? All the time. All right? These are the teachings. It is because in your mind you set aside what you like from what you dislike. What is going to make me happy, what is going to make me sad. And I want to be happy, and I don't want to be sad. I know that. So I made up in my mind how the world needs to be for me to be happy. Not just right now, tomorrow, the next day, everywhere. You understand that? If I'm going on a vacation, I've made up what the room needs to look like, how people need to treat me, what everything needs to be, what the weather needs to be like, haven't I? And if it looks like it's not going to be that way, I have a bad vacation. All right? It's really beautiful. You just have made up in your mind an alternate reality that is based upon what you think will make you happy, what you think will make you sad. And then you look out into this world, which has nothing to do with that. Nothing. The world belongs to reality. The world belongs to cause and effect. It belongs to the sum of all of its past experiences manifesting now. So when you set aside what you like from what you dislike and do that in your mind, I am telling you, you are going to suffer. Maybe you know that by now. You're going to worry, you're going to be anxious, you're going to get tense, all kinds of things are going to go on in there, aren't they? You're going to get jealous, you're going to get insecure, you're going to get angry, you're going to get resentful, all kinds of things are going to go on in there, don't they? That's where every single one of them come from. What is jealous? I've decided what I need in order to be okay, and somebody else is getting it, or I think I might lose it. It's just all predicated. You don't get jealous about someone you don't care about. And if you used to care about the person, now you're not sure you want them around and you're hoping that maybe it'll break up and they start to hang out with somebody else, you don't get jealous. You think it's wonderful. You encourage it. But if you decide this person, the beginning and end, he or she makes the sun rise, they talk to somebody else, you're jealous. Isn't that neat? So you just catch on what's happening. I'm not okay in here. I have decided what needs to happen for me to be okay and what needs to not happen so I don't get worse. And now I am looking out into this world and I am a mess. I can't handle anything. It's scary. And my solution, ready, is to get really serious about getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want so I don't have to be so scared. That's not a solution. That's just to go further into the problem. You're eating something that's making you sick. And so you decide the solution is to eat more. If I can eat enough, I'll be okay, right? The problem was that you set aside what you like from what you dislike, which is out of harmony with reality. The solution is not to get more serious about it. Right? It's just more forceful and just get out there and demand what you want and make it be the way you want and make sure it's never what you don't want. So spirituality, again, is in the opposite direction. It's very simple. It is knowing, I have experienced enough to know there is a place inside of me that is very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Like something could be terribly scaring me, and then all of a sudden I meditate and it becomes beautiful. Or I chant and it becomes beautiful. Or for a moment something catches my attention and I think about something, and all of a sudden I'm fine. It doesn't take long for you to be fine, does it? Like that, right or wrong. It can change just like that. There's a place inside of you that is always beautiful. So beautiful to say that. Every one of you. There's a place inside you that is always beautiful. When you feel beauty, it is because you're experiencing that place. It's not because of the person outside or the place or whatever it is going on outside that helped you, stimulate you to let go of your neurosis. Like somebody caught your attention and they attracted you. What does that mean? They attracted you away from your neurosis. So that now you got pulled away from your everyday humdrum thoughts, and all of a sudden you feel something more beautiful inside yourself. That has nothing to do with the other person, and I mean nothing to do with the other person. Every bit of it has to do with you. The fact that there's beauty inside of you, that's where you feel love, isn't it? inside. You don't feel it outside, right? It just wells up. Mary Prabhupada says it spontaneously wells up inside of you. That's what it does. You feel all this joy, all this love. That's yours. That's not theirs. That's completely 100% yours. And I wish someday you would own that. You love the experience of love pouring inside of you. The fact that it happens in somebody's presence is very nice. We can talk about that in a moment. But that doesn't mean you love that person. If it stopped happening in their presence, you would not love them. I know it's terrible to talk about, isn't it? It must be antisocial and certainly not romantic at all. Doesn't sound romantic at all. Sure sounds like truth though, doesn't it? You love Shakti. You love love. You love that experience, the spirit rushing up inside of you. I don't care what you want to call it, love, excitement, enthusiasm. I don't care. It's all the same energy and it's beautiful, isn't it? And that's what you love and that's all you love. The fact that there are different people, places, or things that can stimulate that energy, good. Understand that. Let's talk about that. But let's not get confused about what it is we want. Let's not get confused about what it is we love. When you describe the job you want, let's say God showed up, burning bush level, talking to you. Hey, you. Right? I got an order sheet. What do you want? Hey, what kind of job? I want to get you the best job you ever had. What kind of job you want? Don't you dare think about it. Don't you dare say something like, well, I want to be a doctor, or I want to do this, or I want to help people, or I want to build buildings. Right? Don't you dare. You just immediately say, I want to be enthused every second at whatever I'm doing. I want to feel so excited about going to work that I can't fall asleep at night because I can't wait to get up and go. And I want to feel that all day, every single day. And then when I come home, I want to tell people about how excited it was to go to work and what I did and what I got to make. I want that job. How'd I do? Is that not the job you want? That's the job you want. Don't tell me you want to be a fireman or you want this, right? What you're doing when you do that is you're saying at this moment it appears to me that that job is what would make me feel that way. Well, you're going to be wrong because you picked the wrong thing. And the same thing goes with love. Who do you want for a spouse? Who do you want for a lover? Who do you want that? Don't you dare. You say just the same thing. I want to be in the presence of that which I'm always feeling in love, whether they're with me or not, no matter as they get old, I don't care what it is. I want to feel love. I want to feel so much love that I can't even see the other person. That's what I want for a relationship. Gibran says it. Those of you who read the Prophet, which is a very good thing to read, says, love gives not but to itself, and love takes not but from itself, for love is sufficient unto love. It's whole and complete within itself. It has nothing to do with another person. So what you love is this energy flow. Is it true? And so I'm going to start. I told you, ultimately it's you. You have to understand, it's all you. Every bit of it is you. It has nothing to do with anybody else or anything else. All right, so you see the flow is yours. It's inside of you. Now, is it true that certain people, places, or things can encourage or cause your energy to flow? That's a tough answer, isn't it? Yes, it's true. And is it true that other people, places, and things can make it stop flowing? Like that. Like your mother or something, I don't know. Some people have issues with their parents. Some people have issues with their brother or sister. Like, there are things out there like that. It stops, doesn't it? Right? Or a snake. Some people can't handle snakes. Or a roach. Something, right? It's just amazing. Bam, gone. So it can open and it can close, right? Obviously, it must be the other person, place, or thing that's causing it to open. No, it's not. Even that is you. Even that is you. I told you. Today we're going to run into somebody at the grocery store who it turns out is very simpatico with you. And it's going to be one of those chance love at first sight meetings. Just you turn the corner, bump the carts together, and one of those right out of the movies. Okay, a Hollywood moment. And the hearts are going to pop open, right? Except you had pizza last night that just didn't sit exactly right. And, so you're pushing the cart down the thing and you're really pushing it because I do a damn thing, I don't feel good, I want to go, right? And you bump into the thing and all of a sudden it didn't open. Did it? It ain't opening. It's more of a, watch where you're going. I'm telling you, as funny as it sounds, if you had eaten lighter last night, that could have opened your heart. Am I right or wrong? Have you seen it? That's how tenuous it is. That's how silly it is. It's all you. It's all you. It's what your state of being is that determines whether you open or close. Yes, a situation outside could hit you a certain way. Why did it hit you a certain way? Because you were a certain way. You had certain past experiences. You had certain past things. The phone call you had 2 minutes ago, anything, everything triggers you, sets you up so that this interaction that just took place either opens you or closes you. If for that moment it happens to open you, now when you think about that person, place, or thing, you relate to that as open. You relate to that as beautiful. Therefore, the next time you see them, it opens you again. And this is how you get on that, what we call the honeymoon phase, where it seems like it's going to stay open forever, and everything you do, everything that happens with this job, with this person, with this place, with this thing, whatever it is, seems to be opening you. It must be God. No, it's just a momentum that is building that you are doing. You are doing it. If all of a sudden, in the midst of all this, somebody comes up to you and says, "Are you kidding? You're thinking about a relationship with that person?" I've talked to like 3 of his past girlfriends, right? And it always starts like this, and he destroys them. And he enjoys doing it. He tells everybody. Like, you don't want to be involved. That was a 30-second conversation from someone you never met before. Guess what? Next time you see that person, that heart ain't opening. There's like this weird energy going on. That's all it takes. 30 seconds of something else get into that mind. Okay? What is that teaching you? What it ultimately says is, this is me. I'm doing this. It has nothing to do with somebody else. The love that I feel is me when I'm open. It is my mind that decides when I can open or not, based upon its past experiences, what it thinks it wants, what it thinks it doesn't want, what state of mind it's in at this given moment. All of those things determine whether that mind will let my heart open based upon the interaction that just took place, and whether it will stay open and how long it will stay open and when it will close. So a wise person looks at this and doesn't get freaked out about the fact that the heart opens or closes. That's the bottom line. You understand, there's a place inside of me where this is coming from. I want to find that place. It has nothing to do with anybody else or anything else. It's inside of me. There's a place inside of me that the love comes from. There's a source. It does come from somewhere, doesn't it? Everything comes from somewhere. When your heart pops open, you feel love, don't you? Where did it come from? It did not come from that person out there, or that job out there, or that money out there. It came from inside of you. So what yoga and spirituality is I am going to seek the source of love. I'm not going to not seek love. I told you, it's not about renunciation. It's not like I'm not going to have love, I'm not going to have a relationship, I'm not going to have anything. I'm going to seek the source of love. I want to have a relationship with love itself. So therefore, if something opens my heart, I'm not going to deny that. That's wonderful. It will let me see where the source is. But I'm going to spend my time finding the source, not trying to own the thing that temporarily opened it. Which, by the way, doesn't mean it won't stay there. Some things are meant to be, some things are not meant to be. A yogi does not touch them. A yogi works inside, always looking to find the source. And then what is meant to be unfolds. We already said the world unfolds according to itself. What do you care, right? What I'm seeking is inside of me. And so I'm fine with the world unfolding however it does. That's fine with me. So you seek the source, and that is spirituality. Now, how does one do that? You won't do it until that's what you want to do. That I've learned. As long as what you want is something outside of you, as long as what you want is your mind saying, this is what's going to make me happy, this is what's going to make me sad, therefore I want what's going to make me happy and I don't want what's going to make me sad. As long as you're caught at that level, you will not go any further, because you're using all of your consciousness, all of your chi, all of your will to try to create an outside situation that will let you feel what you want to feel inside. And you just haven't caught on yet that it's not going to last, that nobody can manipulate the world and everybody in it to be the way they want all the time, all right? And that's why it has never worked for you before. That's why you're always looking for something better, right? Because it can't be created outside. Aside from the fact that not only can you not get it the way you want, and I shouldn't have to lecture on this, do you understand if you got it the way you want, you wouldn't want it anymore? There's a law. It's called the law of diminishing returns. They teach it in economics. Right? It happens to be the truth. Tell me what it is that's your favorite food in the whole world that you would just die to get. What's the best meal you ever had in your entire life that just blew you away? All right? How would you like to have that? How would you like to have tomorrow night too? Whoa, the next night. Wow. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all week. Can we have something else? Do you understand that? There's not one of you that is not subject to the law of diminishing returns. The more you experience something at some point, the less it turns you on. You get used to it. That which was your exception becomes your norm. And once it becomes your norm, it doesn't open you anymore. Now you have to go out and do different things and try different things and all this kind of stuff, right? So a wise person catches on and says, there is a place inside of me where that does not happen. There is a spontaneous source of eternal flow, of joy, of love. And there is. I'm not just talking, all right? There is. You're going to understand there is a river of joy that flows inside of you. Find it, get in it, and drown. Yeah, that's yoga. Okay? That's the entire spiritual path. That's the merger. Just lose yourself in it so completely that it's not even like, first you can't find it, but you feel it once in a while. Then you work and you find it. And it's you experiencing this joy. That's not enough. Eventually you let go of you so you can get closer to the joy. And that's yoga means merger. You merge. When Christ said, my Father and I are one. When Buddha went to nirvana. These great transcendental states. Or when you lose yourself in that joy, there's not even a you there anymore. You would never say, I'm experiencing joy. There's just joy. There's just love. There's just ecstasy. And have any of you had the honor of being in the presence of someone who's in that state? They are emanating that love. It is pour. Just like when you get in the presence of somebody who's angry, you know it. You feel that this person's got an issue and it's yicky, isn't it? Right? You get in the presence of someone that's not there. There's nothing there but the ecstasy. It's very rare. Even great saints don't necessarily reach that state. Right? There's no one there. There's just the Shakti. There's just God. There's just the Chi. It emanates around them for miles, right? Anything, right? That if they live in a city, Ramakrishna said, if they live in a city, the city is blessed that their presence is there. That's a saint. That's a great being, all right? So it's like you are capable of that. That's what's very beautiful. Every single one of you are capable of achieving that state, period. Well, why don't I? You're not even seeking it. You're seeking something outside of you to substitute for it. You're seeking the thing that stimulates it instead of seeking it, right? And that's what you do when you go out and seek. Ramakrishna said there's 3 things you seek. Listen to this carefully, because he's a very wise man. He said them in the following way. Women, but what he meant is outside relationships that cause your Shakti to flow. Right? Doesn't matter woman, man, okay? It's just that whole interaction, all right? That whole relationship interaction, all right? Women, gold. Obviously, he didn't mean just gold, right? He meant finance, wherewithal, the ability that if I have this, I can get what I want, I can get what I need. It'll solve my problems, right? And then the last one was so beautiful. He said, name. It took me a long time to contemplate that one. What does he mean by name? What people think of you. How big is that to you? What people think of you. Respect. Your relationship in terms of whether they think you're good or how much does that drive you? Right? What's your name? You follow me? You don't have to be a Hollywood star to care about your name. Right? You care about what the neighbors think. You care about whether you said something stupid. It's like, what do I look like in the eyes of others? That's what name means. Can you relate to that? Those 3 things run the entire life of a normal human being. That's all they're doing all the time, is trying to achieve one or more of those 3 things. It drives you outside to try to manipulate and control what's going on outside of you. A yogi is the one who has said, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the place inside of me where there is always joy and ecstasy. It has nothing to do with those outside things. I'm not going to renounce them. It's just what I'm seeking is not that. I am not seeking money, I am not seeking relationship, and I am not seeking name. So, what are you seeking? I am seeking the place inside of me where I'm in ecstasy. It's fun to just say. I'm seeking the place inside of me where there is so much love that I can't handle it. I have to get better at it. I'm like drunk. Okay? I better figure out what to do when I'm driving. Right? I was trying to talk to you, but I fell into all this love. I gotta work with that. I gotta be able to keep my consciousness focused enough to where the love doesn't keep blowing me away. Wow, wouldn't that be a problem to have? Ramakrishna had that problem. I told you that. They're literally every single day when they divvied out seva. Seva means your job at the ashram. When they divvied out seva, you'd be in charge of the dishes, you would set the room up, you're in charge of greeting people, you're doing this. Oh, you have the job of walking behind the master all day, because at any moment he will see something, hear something, think something. The head will go back, the tears will start pouring out of his eyes, this glow will come across his face, and he will fall over backwards. Your job is to catch him. Wow. Truth. That's the truth. He was so beautiful. That is going on inside of every single one of you right now. That is who you are. That is the nature of your being. But instead of finding that and hanging out there, you're busy doing this. You're busy doing, I got to find the right person so that I can have a moment's love. I got to find the right finance so that I can buy what I want because that'll make me happy. I got to find the way to dress and to drive the right car and do all that stuff so that people accept me and respect me and think I'm attractive. And you hear me? That's what I'm going to be busy doing instead of completely free and feeling joy and love and ecstasy all the time. All right. So one, what does it take in order to achieve that state? First and foremost, it takes wanting to. Obviously, nobody can achieve what they don't even want. You have to sit there and say, this is what I want. You don't have to renounce anything else. I'll tell you the difference there in a minute. You're not renouncing anything. You're just leaving it alone. It's not what I want. You have to renounce the trees. You have to renounce the plants, right? Why would you have to renounce the trees or plants? Well, you don't renounce anything. You just do your work where it matters. And so you remember, I am seeking a place within myself where there's joy, where there's love, so I can come out and share it, I can play. All right? Which means your work is inside. And then no one again will listen to me. All of your work is inside. All of your work is inside. Right? That's the relationship that matters is the one with yourself. The wealth that matters is the one that you can't lose. Do you see that? So you get to the point where I'm walking you through this, where the first thing is you say, I am looking for love. I'm not looking for love. I got to remember it is inside of me. I want to find the place inside of me where the love is always flowing. And I want to find the place inside of me where I am always at peace. Not at peace because something good happened. I don't care about having to wait for good things to happen to me. That's crazy. And I don't want to worry about having to make them happen. And I don't want to worry about bad things happening to me. I want to always be okay. Then you remember, and you got to remember this. That's what I'm seeking. The place inside of me where I'm always okay. I'm not seeking things outside, but I'm not renouncing things. I just found the way to find what I'm looking for. All right? So I'm seeking inside of me the place where I'm always okay. Okay, how do I find that? Now I get down to business. It's so easy. Watch. What do you mean watch? Watch when it does and watch when it doesn't. They both are your teachers. Watch what happens when you feel love. Where is it coming from? Right? What is it? Just don't watch the mind that wants to own what made you feel the love. Don't watch the mind that tries to figure out what do you need to do to keep it, because then you're not looking at the source. So you look inside and you watch. Then sometimes it will close. Same. They're both opening and closing are your teachers, and they are equally your teachers. It is not better that it be open. What is better is that you be conscious and you watch the opening and closing. So you look for the source, and then you see that a closure takes place. What will you see? Why did you close? That's all I'm asking. Not how do I not close. Why did I close? I was feeling love. I wanted to feel love. Why did I close? And eventually you will see the answer. And that answer is one word, and it's 4 letters, but it's not a dirty word. It's mind. That's what you will see. I shouldn't have to tell you. You will see that your mind did it. Nothing else did it. Your mind did it. Your mind didn't like what happened, so it closed. Your mind liked what happened, so it opened. Your mind is the door of your heart. And I want you to see that. I want you to watch that. It's like that which happened made her close and made her open. Why? Because her mind didn't like it, and her mind liked it. Well, why did her mind not like it? Because of past experiences. She had learned experiences, made a decision a long time ago. She didn't like this. Why did her mind like it? Same thing. Things happened to her, different things happened. She decided she liked that. Right? You don't like snakes, you like snakes. You think snakes are terrible things, they're the work of the devil. You think snakes are an auspicious sign. And so all of a sudden you met somebody and a snake went by. You said, oh my God, it's a cursed relationship. I don't want to get near the person, right? It's a sign of God. And that took place. You said, oh my God, it's a blessed relationship. That must be the perfect person. It is whatever your mind says is, right? It's because your mind said you liked it that it opened you. If your mind had said you didn't like it, then it would have closed you. The thing doesn't do it. It is your mind that does it. And you just get to the point where you eventually realize this so deep that you stop playing around. If I'm doing it, why am I playing around with something outside? I'm the one who decided. Let's say something closes me and I feel closed. All I have to do is decide I like it. If I could do that, something happened. And your mind says, oh my God, that's terrible. I don't want that to happen. I'll never be happy. It took all my happiness away, right? Well, what if your mind said, God, this is an excellent opportunity for growth. This is God's grace. This is beautiful. I can't wait to see if I'm good enough to make it through this. This is quite a challenge. Then all of a sudden you're excited, you're enthused, you're looking forward to it. Whatever your mind says is. So that's your second level of understanding how to grow on this path. First, you need to want to find the place inside of you that you are always filled with love and joy, independent of everything else. And remember, that's what my life is about. That's what I'm seeking. Everybody else is seeking all these other things. I now know how to find what they're really looking for. Then second, you watch. You watch what opens and closes you. And what you're going to see, it's your mind. And then you have to decide, what do you want to do about that? What do you want to do about that mind? Because it does open and close you. And you'll do all kinds of things. You're not going to listen to me anyways. You'll do all kinds of things. But please don't listen to your mind, because it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you to go out and get what it wants and avoid what it doesn't want. That is all your mind will ever tell you. And it will rationalize and justify. But that's all it's going to say is, this is what I want and that is what I don't want. Get to work. It's adorable, right? It doesn't know how to be other than that. That's the only thing it knows. Don't ever expect it to be other than that. You have to be wiser than that. You have to be deeper. So you sit there and say, what do I do about this mind? I always teach you there's 3 choices. 1, do what it tells you to do. Well, you're crazy, because it ain't going to take you anywhere you want to go. 2, change it. You're just almost as crazy. Right? To sit there and try and change your mind and fight with it and do all that work, it's going to wear you out. 3rd, don't care what it says. Let it say whatever it wants. You just understand, I don't want to listen to you. That's what I don't want. I don't want to listen. I want to be able to relax in the presence of the mind saying what it likes and what it doesn't like. The moment you can relax behind the mind when it's saying what it likes and what it doesn't like, you will be that much closer to the source of what you're looking for. Because that's where it is. It's right behind the mind. It's not in the mind, and it ain't in the world. So you have to be able to work out of the world. Why? Because it doesn't have what you want. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's just not the answer. So why am I listening? And you have to be able to let go of the mind. And then all of a sudden, who's left? You. You, who was living in the mind and living in the world, are now living in the seat of self. And it does not take long. You will start to feel joy. You will start to feel waves of joy for no reason, absolutely no reason at all. Why? Because that's your nature. You happen to be the source of the love. The love was coming from you, but you were projecting it out and waiting for it to bounce back. And so you were out there looking for that which would reflect it back, all right? Eventually you stop doing that. And you realize, why will I do that? I'm the source. I'm just going to settle within the seat of self. But to do that, you must relax behind the mind. And so everything the mind says, you just relax. You just relax. Let's say it says something really bad, relax. Let's say something really scary, relax. Let's say something really good, relax. Just relax. Because you are the source of what you are seeking. The mind cannot take you to you. It can only take you away from you. Getting into the mind means you left you. Not only will the mind take you away from you, because it'll take you into the mind, the minute you get into the mind, every single thing the mind has to say will be about the world. It'll say the answer is outside in the world. The answer is more money. The answer is moving. The answer is a new relationship. The answer is this. The answer, always it will do that. Why? Because that's all it knows. It was programmed with the data of the world. Therefore, it's full of that. It can't say otherwise. So the minute you fall into the mind, you're going to fall into the world. And now you're lost. You went away from self. So you must be able, ready, willing, and able to relax, constantly relax behind what the mind is saying. Why would I? Because it doesn't know what it's talking about. It tells you how to go find love. It is telling you how to never find love. It is telling you how to grab onto a sinking ship. And the mind is hilarious. It says, this time is different. No, it's not. Ask anyone. Ask anyone. It isn't different. It is just that at this moment, the chemistry is such that the mind is willing to stay open until something happens that it's not. And do you want to wait for disaster to crash? Instead, you sit there and say, wait, I love love. Of course I love love. But it is inside of me. And so I'm going to use every single situation to seek that. The key becomes, are you capable of not listening to what the mind has to say? And in most people's case, the answer is, of course not. Become capable. Because you can achieve this great state. And it is a blessing to you and to everyone else you know, anywhere. It emanates out of you. But you're not there. You're too busy merged in the love. But everyone will be raised. Let go of yourself. And wait till you see what comes out of you. So that's a spiritual path. It's pretty simple, isn't it? That's why they say the seat of self is everything. Because it is. You, the consciousness, are the source of all joy and all love. And in the end, you are one with God. And so to return to that place, so I'm going to end with this. We've been quoting the masters. Somebody once asked Yogananda, I want to know God. He's a fully enlightened master. I want to know God. He just turned nonchalantly to them and said, He dwells right behind your every thought, and walked away. What dwells right behind your every thought? You who notices the thought. The thought flies by, you notice, right? You are behind every thought. That's where you're going to find God. And you ain't going to find any of your thoughts. You ain't going to find it in the world. And that's where you're going to find love. That's why they say God is love. That's why they say God is peace. Because the source of all of these things is the same. It is the seat of self. Jagrata.